Hi guys, Brain here, and welcome to another commentary video. Today I wanted to talk to you about just this like, weird lost in the woods kind of like mentality that we get sometimes with DBD. Essentially, that we take DBD a little too seriously sometimes, And I know that I kind of, and a lot of other content creators kind of propagate that intensity when it comes to how you treat the game and how like upset we get over certain perks or maps and other stuff like that. And I kind of want to just like talk about that real quick and like why I care about those things and like how it's kind of like deviates from like a normal perspective on the game and why I still don't think it's like necessarily a bad thing. Before we get too far into the video, please make sure you do the like or the sub-a-roonies on the channel. That's the way you make me feel good for putting out all this content. So if you like what I do, that's how you let me know that I'm doing a good job. And if you don't like it, you can dislike and all that wonderful stuff. And it's not like subs are permanent, you can take them away too. So, I'd appreciate the support, friend. And if not, let's get on with the video. So for most people, DBD is either one of two things for the most part. DBD is just a party game that they play with their friends, because obviously they kill your friends, and just like the format of Survivor where you can stack up with 4 people really lends itself to being a fun game. You can just download, play with your friends with like no context, right? It's a very like hop in, play the game sort of game, and it's easy to play with a bunch of people. So it's very fun as an aspect of just like a very, very casual party game. And the other aspect is there are people that actually really get into DBD, but they play it mostly as an auxiliary to like a content creator that they watch, or just because all their friends are playing it. They don't really play it because it's like, oh man, I'm so into DBD. DBD is my favorite game. I love DBD. I will bleed DBD. It's more just because like, I watch Otts play the game, and Otts is pretty cool, and I love hanging out in Otts' streams, so I'll play a little bit of Killer on the side. I'm not that passionate about it, but like I'll play a little bit of Killer on the side just because, Otts is my favorite streamer, so I just watch Otts, and Otts is cool, so I'm just gonna do Otts things, I think it's like usually like most people that play DBD kind of like fall into one of those two categories. I think us, like what we are, where we're like kind of like getting deep into the nitty gritty of the game. I feel like that's like a very, very, very like select group. I feel like we're very, very far from the majority of people. The reason I do this, the reason I get so like into all this stuff, is because before I was into DBD, I was in the FGC, mostly in Street Fighter, like multiple different Street Fighters, mostly Street Fighter 5. But I liked fighting games. I liked fighting games a lot. And in the fighting game realm, there's a lot of like little stuff in the game that really matters. Like the tiny things in the game really matter, like the frame data, the matchups, the character strengths. Those things are very, very, very important, but also fun to like kind of dissect and get into and to understand the game. So it doesn't matter which game it is. Every game, the startup frames of a move can be the difference between like a win or a loss sometimes, So like getting that dissective and getting that introspective into a game is just like something that I'm kind of used to, like I don't see it as a negative thing or a scary thing. And I think a lot of people in the DBD community kind of have like a fear of introspecting into perks and introspecting into maps or designs of things. And it really like freaks them out. Right. And it's just like, but like to me, it's just like normal. It's like what we do. It's part of the fun. Right. Like I'm not more stressed because I think Dead Hard's a little too strong. Like I'm not like freaking out here, but like to me, it's just like it was part of like what my like the community I come from, did all the time. Like, oh, that move's busted. This character has a vortex in the corner, and it like that's so dumb to deal with. And they eventually remove the vortex, and then everybody's like, thank God they removed the vortex. It's just part of like the fighting game motions. It's just like what we do. Like it's not like we're like miserable or anything. It's just kind of like that's part of the fun, is realizing something may be broken and trying to find ways around it. And when we don't find ways around it, we want it changed. It's just kind of like that's part of the deal, right? That's like part of the fun and the journey of getting attached to those games. But in Dead by Daylight, I feel like there's like this like real like visceral reaction to people who get way too into the game, and I don't know, like I guess if I'm trying to say anything instead of just like man shouting at the sky, is like, it is okay if you're just like super casually into the game and you don't care about any of this, right? And I feel like for some people that would be preferred. Like go back to that place, because some people are really stressed playing this game. So I feel like it might be better to step back to that more casual zone. And then how that's like more normalized, like that's like you're not weird for playing DBD casually. If anything, that's the majority of people that play this game. But also there's nothing wrong with like getting this introspective into the game. I feel like a lot of people take any sort of like, I think Dead Heart's too strong, I think Circle of Healing's too strong, I think Ruin's too strong, you know, like any of those statements as like attacks against the game. And it's like, no, like there's some people who just like this like the little idiosyncrasies of the game. Like that's it. Like some people just like getting that deep into the game's inner workings and really, you know, getting down to like the brass tacks, getting down deep in there. And that's okay too, right? Like that's totally fine. It doesn't have to be like an attack on the game or anything. You know, like I could do this all day. Obviously I do it every day. I literally do. I literally upload daily talking about the game, because I just, you know, it's like taking that thing that I love doing. And when I played Street Fighter 5 almost every day, and I'm doing it to DBD, and it's like I just like switch gears, you know. I'm just like, oh, okay, well that moves a little too strong, or that moves a little too weak. Now I'm just going, this perk's a little too strong, this perk's a little too weak, you know. It's just like, it's part of the ride, and it's the fun of the journey. Like, I don't understand what people want sometimes, you know. I just don't understand what people want, because like this, for me, this is fun, and for you it's fun, obviously, because you guys will hang out and we talk in the comments about all this stuff. Like it's just fun to talk about this stuff. And here's the thing, if I want to send you home with one message today, we are doing our thing. And if you hate it, if you're upset that people like dissect the game this far, like, that's okay. Just don't get into this content. There are some people that go to each one of my videos and get mad at me, and I don't understand that. Like, my content's not for everybody. Like I said, I come from like a different world where dissecting games this deeply is like part of the fun, right? And there are a lot of people that feel the same way, which is, you know, what we talk about in the comments below. But if you don't like the game being dissected that far, then like just you're not forced to dissect the game that far. Like if somebody wants to talk about like the meta of Dead by Daylight and perks being strong versus weak, you don't have to participate in the conversation at all. You're part of the majority, matter of fact, if you don't want to have that conversation. Like, you don't have to participate in the talks about the game's balance. You just don't. For some of us, that's a really, really fun thing. And if you don't like it, it's just probably not for you. It's probably not for you. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to title this video, because I just kind of like turned on the camera and talked. So, but yeah, hopefully you learned something, or at least, you know, got some perspective there. I just kind of wanted to talk about, like, you know, why I dissect the game the way I do, and how that's like a fun thing and not a bad thing. Because like I've been seeing a lot of people are like, I can't believe people complain about this. I'm like, sometimes like dissecting things and like introspecting the things that suck is fun. So, you know, whatever. Thanks so much for watching today, friends. I'll see you in the next video, but if I don't, I'll see you when I see you, buds. Goodbye.